Hi, ladies. Welcome to another episode of iStartFirst podcast. You are in for a treat. Today, I'm talking to one of my favorite humans, absolutely masterful in what she does. She's helped me in my life, personally and professionally, so many times. We are talking to Kyleen, spiritual psychologist, founder of Gateway Healing, and we're going to talk about that internal struggle that we all have been going through at times, which is a battle between masculine and feminine energy. So stay tuned. Hi, loves. Welcome to iStartFirst podcast, the show for boss babes who start ideas, businesses, dreams, and lifestyle. I'm your host, Alenka Kyleen, founder of iStartFirst, speaker, author, and business coach, aka Queen of Pushing Boss Babes off the ledge. On this show, I chat with epic humans who are guaranteed to uplevel your business and mindset. Are you ready to sparkle up? Let's go. Hi, ladies. So excited. Here's another episode of iStartFirst podcast, and I'm bringing you somebody who I treasure so much in my life. She's absolutely helped me through so many tough situations. Her knowledge is incredible. She is definitely the guru and master in what she does. So I'm very excited to have Kyleen, who is the founder of Gateway Healing and a spiritual psychologist. Hi, Katie.
Hi, so lovely to be here today.
Yes. And I mean, I could not be more excited because so many women who are listening to this podcast are constantly, like we have that battle going on, right? Between masculine and feminine energy. And that's exactly our conversation today. But before we jump in, would you tell them a little bit more about what does spiritual psychologist even mean, just in case, not everybody's familiar with that, and what type of healing do you do?
Absolutely. So, spiritual psychology is about getting to know yourself inside and really delving to the inner worlds, because we're so much more than just our physical body. In fact, we're so complex. And what I do is I do gateway healing and energy healing, where we kind of look within inside of you, see what your blocks are, and then bring those blocks into healing. So, because there's only so far talk therapy can go. After a while, okay, you've acknowledged what your blocks are, but then what? And that's where spiritual psychology comes in, and inner healing and gateway healing comes in to actually bring healing to those parts inside of yourself. And it works on everything from physical to emotional to mental blocks inside of you.
I love it. No, that's awesome. That is so exciting. So let's dive right in. I mean, feminine and masculine energy, but
yes.
The never ending battle within us, or separation or struggles. So, why is it important to understand that balance, to understand how the energies work together?
Absolutely. So it's important because each and every one of us, Olenka, have both male and female inside of us. So male and female energy inside of us. So what we're talking about today is not the role of being a man or the role of being a woman. We're talking about the male and female within each man and each woman, the yin, the yang, some people call it the Shiva, the Shakti, the Ida, the Pingala. It's all the same thing. It's that male and female inside. And some of us aren't just looking to improve a little bit here and there. We're looking for total ascension. We want total self-mastery over our entire lives. We want mastery over our diet, mastery over our health, mastery over our thinking, mastery over our spirituality. And these rare, magical people here on earth need to understand their masculine and their feminine energy inside of themselves in order to be able to master yourself entirely.
That's incredible. No, that's so true. So can you walk us through, like, what should we, rely on, or how do we discern between both energies and like use them in our lives?
Yes, totally. And there's a huge misconception going on about masculine and feminine energy, and an understanding of what each one is. And we'll break each one down today and help women figure out, and even men listening, figure out whether they're deficient in some places or need an extra in others. But we have 50 of each within inside of us. And sometimes when we actually think we need more masculine energy, we actually need more feminine. Sometimes when we think we need more feminine, we need more masculine. For instance, there was this client that came to me. She was a female, Olenka, and she said, I just want to walk this earth and I want to be so much more feminine. I need more feminine in my life. I need more goddess energy in my life, you know? And when I sat down and tuned into her, I saw it was the exact opposite. This woman had so many ideas and she didn't know how to materialize them in the physical world, which is your masculine energy inside of yourself. Mm-hmm. So, or sometimes it's the exact opposite, where we'll have a woman come in and she just says, I need to be more productive. You know, I just need a little bit more energy to become more productive. And, when you take a look, she's already working 60 hours a week, and she actually needs more feminine inside of her so that she can settle down for 10 minutes and just relax. She doesn't even know how to meditate, right? Yeah. So it's different for each one of us, and some of us may be stronger in some parts and weaker in other parts. So what we can do together is we can go through the attributes of masculine and feminine, and this is just a picture showing that there's both worlds within us, both male and female within each one of us. And here is a beautiful chart, Olenka, that really explains things. So I don't know if you want to give us the honor of kind of reading through the masculine first.
Sure. The exhale, logic, assertion, initiating, outgoing, putting into motion, protection, giver, provider, firm, structure, expressor, and pursuer.
Awesome. So
love it.
Yes. And so when we go to the exhale, the part of you that gives out is the masculine, which includes your logical self, which includes your ability to assert out into the world. It includes your ability to initiate things. It's the outgoing part of you, the part that puts into motion. It's also the part that knows how to protect itself. It's actually our giving. Our giver comes through the male, which most people actually think it comes through the female. It doesn't. Our giver is the male. The male is the one that puts out. And it's our provider. It helps us to provide for ourselves. It's the firmness within inside of us. It's our structure. It's our ability to express out into the world, and it's our ability to continue to pursue things. So if you can give us the honor of reading the feminine now.
Yes, the feminine, ladies. The inhale, intuition, allowing, nurturing, introspection, transparency, receiver, imagination, inspiration, fluid, connection, and believer.
And so the female is the one that inhales, takes it in, you know, it's our receiver, it's our intuition, it's the one that helps us to allow and let things be. It's our nurturer, the mother within us. It's the introspection, the one that can go within. It's our transparency. So what does transparency mean? What's another word for transparency, Olenka?
Openness or honesty.
Honesty, vulnerability, all of that is the female. It's our ability to be able to receive. It's our imagination. What's another word for imagination?
Dreaming.
Yes, the dreamer.
Making plans.
Yes, the planner. That's all the female. Yeah. The inspiration, the part of us that is fluid, the part of us that's connected to spirit, and the believer within us. So that's all the female. So does that kind of make it a little bit more clear about what male energy and female is?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, I love that. And so when we operate in the world and we, you know, go through our daily routines, you know, like in business, so many times I'll hear pushback from women saying, I can't be feminine in business. I have to be in my masculine side. So how do I balance that out? How do I, keep my femininity, but also stay successful in business?
Absolutely. And so that's tricky because there's so many elements to that. Okay. Sometimes when women say, when I'm in business, how do I keep my femininity? It's not actually that they need more feminine energy. It's more that they need to heal their masculine. So one thing we know about the masculine is the masculine's the asserter, right? The initiator. But what happens, for instance, if that part of you is out of whack, is imbalanced? What can happen? You can become controlling. So it's not that that person needs more feminine energy, it's that they need to heal their masculine. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
perfect sense.
Yeah. Or sometimes, a woman comes and they say that I need more feminine energy, but they don't realize how much of their feminine energy they're already using in the workspace. So when they're using their creativity, they're actually being feminine. When they're using their ability to be able to plan things, they're using their feminine. When they're using their ability to listen, they're being feminine. So, we think of feminine as just soft, but there's so much more that makes up the feminine energy. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, absolutely. It makes perfect sense. So when we working with those energies, how do we know, I guess, how do we deal with it when we feel like one side is overpowering the other? I see this question, I get this from women all the time, I feel flooded with, being a girl, or I feel flooded, I'm, in the man position all the time.
So the first thing is to figure out what is out of balance within you. First of all, is it attributes of the male or attributes of the female that are out of balance within you? And in fact, right now, we can take a look at a chart of what it looks like when the female inside of you is unhealed, and also what it looks like next when the male inside of you is unhealed. So Olenka, first one, intuition, which is a female trait. What happens if the female inside of you is unhealed? The intuition is unhealed.
You turn blind. You don't pay attention. You don't listen.
That's right. And so when you don't have intuition, you have no guidance. There's no inner guidance within inside of you at all. The knower inside of you is totally blocked or shut down. And that's a female energy inside that needs healing. And what's the next one?
Allowing turns into resistance.
So when we're not allowing, we become very resistant. We can become very stuck. We don't know how to let things be as they are. And that's an unhealed female trait inside of us. And when we don't know how to allow, do we know how to trust?
Not really.
No, not at all. So an unhealed female energy. What's the next one?
We going from nurturing to being harsh.
And this is actually a really big one, because when we're not nurturing and we become harsh, this is the destructive energy within us. Have you seen men or women that are destructive?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's that nurturing energy being twisted and unhealed. And it becomes really harsh and destructive. And that's where women get coined as the crazy woman.
Yeah.
It's from that nurturing, sweet energy getting so destructive, the caring energy. And so what's next?
Introspection turns into denial.
Okay, so instead of going within, which is a natural female trait, we totally refuse to see the truth, run away, deny what's in front of us. And a lot of people, like I said, can't even sit in 10 minutes in meditation and go within inside and introspect. They can't go inside and reflect. And that's an unhealed feminine trait within inside of us.
Okay. And then we go from transparency to becoming dishonest.
And so this is another really huge one, because like you said, another word for transparency is being open or being honest. And when transparent energy gets twisted, so when the female energy gets twisted, we become manipulative, so manipulative. And, it's interesting because, people are saying that we need more feminine energy here on earth right now, but it's not that we need more feminine energy here on earth. We need to heal the feminine energy here on earth right now. And that's why there's actually so many layers of manipulation going on in the world, right?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, feminine energy that is unhealed. So deception, that's a feminine energy unhealed.
Hmm.
Lying, that's feminine energy also unhealed.
Yeah. And then we go from being a receiver to being closed off.
Oh, and how many of us don't know how to receive?
Yes. I hope if you're listening, ladies, make sure you replay this part.
Yes, exactly. And so, we're meant to naturally be receptive. We're meant to naturally have our arms wide open,
Yeah.
receive all the good in the world for us. And if this part of our feminine energy that sits in the heart is unhealed, then we do not allow any goodness into our lives at all.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. And then we go from imagination to matter of fact.
Yes. So instead of being able to be a dreamer, like you said, a visionary, being able to imagine things, being able to be creative, that part inside of us gets so blocked that the only thing we're left with is a matter of fact energy.
Hmm.
This is what it is, without being able to pull into that part of us that can help us to access new ideas.
And then we go from inspiration to being dull.
So we all want inspiration. Inspiration is what helps us to kind of move forward. It's what brings that excitement into our life. And
Hmm.
when we're very uninspired, we're very dull. Have you gone
Hmm.
through moments in your life where you're just not inspired by
Yep.
anything?
Yep. Absolutely.
So it's the female inside of us that helps us to find meaning in life, helps us to find inspiration.
Got you. And then we're going from being fluid to being rigid.
Yes, and the female energy is very formless inside of us. It's very flexible. So if our female energy is unhealed, we can become very rigid. We can be very unflexible.
And then we go from connection to separation.
And this is both connection with other people and connection with spirit. So if you are feeling like you can't communicate with spirit, if you're feeling like you can't get those answers from within inside of you, that is a female energy trait that needs to be opened up.
And then we go from sensuality to being awkward.
So, Olenka, have you met those women that are uncomfortable with their sexuality or their
Yes.
sensuality?
Hmm.
Isn't it
Hmm.
very awkward?
Yes, totally.
Or they're
Very.
timid or shy about it?
Hmm.
Or that when they're not sensual, then what they do is they try and lean in on their male energy
Yep, they definitely are.
to kind of pull up with it. So this is the unhealed feminine energy within inside of us. And then now we have the masculine energy that's unhealed. So what's the first one on there?
We're going from logic to being irrational.
So when we lose the logic side of us, there's no reason within us at all. And we really need the reasoning mind. If not, the only thing we're left with is pure emotion, which is very destructive. So we need that reason to really work with the emotions. And if if our logic is unhealed or pushed down, we can be very irrational or have lack of reason in our life.
I love it. And then we go from willpower to being forceful.
Yes. So, and what's the other end? If we don't have any willpower, what happens to us? If we're not forceful, then what's the other side of it?
Careless, maybe? I mean, I don't know. It's or having a hard time doing anything.
Exactly. Yeah. We turn into a total noodle.
Yeah, true.
So when we don't have willpower,
Yeah.
we are so defeated in life.
Right.
It's like we just fold. And so that's
Mhm.
why this part of the masculine energy is so important.
No, that makes sense. And then we go from initiating to procrastinating.
And how many people have a hard time with that one?
Oh, lots.
And that is actually a masculine trait that is needed, not a feminine trait within inside of us.
And then we go from outgoing to being isolated.
And we know that in life, we need a balance of being able to go out there and being able to go inward. So if
Mhm.
we are too inward, it's not really a good thing because it can create a lot of feelings of isolation within inside of us. So the male is the one that helps us to actually go out there and make our dreams manifest. That's the male energy within inside of us that is outgoing.
And then we're going from judgment to fearful thoughts.
So our thoughts are actually the male energy and our emotions are the female. So, a healthy level of judgment, of decision making is a male energy trait. So if our judgment is in an unhealthy place, we can have extremely fearful thoughts. We can have paranoia.
Mhm.
We can not really have clear thinking, and that all comes from the male energy inside.
And then we go from protection to lack of safety.
And have you ever felt where you don't feel protected, you don't feel
Mhm.
secure?
Yep,
That's
definitely.
male energy inside of
Mhm.
us. Our male energy is the one that brings us into shelter, you know? Um,
Yeah.
so the protection is so important.
Mhm. And then we go from giver to being selfish.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, is that not a turnoff?
It major, major turnoff.
Major turn off. When we are not givers, the male is the one, again, that is, putting it out into the world, that is giving to others, that is showing up for another person. That is the male energy within inside of us,
Mhm.
the ability to give to our clients.
Mhm.
That's all us using our male energy.
And then going from being providing to being neglectful.
Yeah. So do you remember like the hunter gatherer?
Yep.
That's the male energy. It's the part inside of us that helps us to provide for ourselves.
Mhm.
And if we're not providing, then we're neglecting, And so it's the ability to find means in our life, resources in our life, to be able to pay the bills that comes from the male energy within inside of us.
Yeah. And then going from firm to no boundaries.
And that's a huge one. I mean, do we
Yeah.
not hear about boundary talks all the time?
Oh, we do. We do.
And, being firm can also mean having self authority,
Mhm.
mean saying no. Being firm doesn't necessarily mean being rigid, it means standing strong in what you believe, being firm.
Yeah.
You know, and so if we don't have that part inside of ourselves, if there's no boundaries, then the male energy inside of us needs to be healed.
Yeah. And then we're going from structure to disorder.
And we all need structure in our lives.
We do.
Have you ever walked through somebody's house that is so disorderly?
Mhm.
I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, the books are everywhere, the clothes are everywhere, the this is everywhere. And so in order for us to even make it through life, we need to have some level of organization, which
Yeah.
comes from the male energy inside of us.
And then we're going from being expressor to being stifled.
So the female is the one that gives us the idea, and then the male is the one that goes out there and expresses it. So if the male is not going out there and expressing it, then we're very stifled. We can be very held back. We can be very stagnant without the male energy there.
Mhm. And then we're going from pursuer and asserter to giving up and being lazy.
Oh shit!
We made it.
Flag.
Yeah.
That's my mayday. Something is wrong here,
Yeah.
But really, the male is the one that helps you to get out of bed every morning,
Yeah.
And gosh, do we need that man inside
Yes,
of
we
us to help
do.
us to get up. If not, we're just lazy. We can't move. The male is the one that helps us to move with the ideas and the energy that the female gives us.
And then we go from being focused to being avoidant and scattered.
Yes. And that's the final thing is the male knows how to direct the energy. It knows how to focus. The female is the one that gives the fruit in order for the male to go in and focus and direct. So this is what it looks like when the male energy inside of you isn't healed. And so some people, again, are a little misguided as to what each one is. And so when they think it's their female that needs to be healed, it's actually their male.
No, I love it. Yeah, this was super helpful. Ladies, if you missed, I would say go back another 10 minutes or so. Make sure you bookmark this, you listen to this again, because it's just like Katie said, sometimes we feel that we're lacking one side, but in reality, we really have to look on the other side of things to see that the balance is actually there. So I absolutely love it. Katie, will you tell them where they can find you? You know, you do incredible classes. You've done private sessions with me. So will you give them, and obviously we'll put everything in the show notes, but tell them where they can find you.
Absolutely. So my website is arizonaspiritualevents.com. And on there, I have free meditations and all sort of good things. And my services are listed there too. And on Instagram, I'm at spiritually strong. And the last thing, guys, I really do want to emphasize for all of you is that if we don't heal the male and female within inside of us, we actually end up attracting really unhealthy relationships outwardly that are actually mimicking what's going on within inside of the male and female in us. Yeah. And when the male and female within each and every one of us in the world is healed, there will be no fight between man and woman outwardly in the world. And if your male or your female is overpowering, then the other one has to do extra to be able to keep up. So sometimes if the female within us is overly emotional, the male inside gets so exhausted, you know, or, you know, let's just say if the female inside of us is really nurturing, but it doesn't know how to initiate, then our life can end up being a little stagnant, and it goes vice versa as well. If our male wants to achieve and just achieve and just achieve and just achieve more Instagram numbers, more this, more that, it's just looking to achieve, but it doesn't have the meaning or connection inside as to why it's doing what it's doing, and our achievements are empty.
Yeah, no, so I love it.
It's very important for both to be friends with each other.
I love it. Well, Katie, I mean, this was outstanding. I can't thank you enough. Your wisdom always leaves me. I could talk to you for hours. So thank you so much for coming on tonight, sharing this wisdom, ladies. Arizona Spiritual Events. Obviously, everything will be in show notes, Instagram at Spiritually Strong. Katie is absolutely extraordinary. I am fully grateful to her for helping me through so many situations. So I hope you get to work with her. She's absolutely incredible. And Katie, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to iStartFirst podcast. If you loved it as much as I did, feel free to tag us on Instagram at iStartFirst_. Share it with your besties. And if you feel so compelled, give us that 5-star review on iTunes. Till next time, and like always, kick ass and sparkle up.